We all know the big news that everybody's talking about. As we know, affirmative action has been trending for the past week, which, to break it down for the people out there that don't know, but they should know, of course, affirmative action refers to a policy aimed at increasing workplace and educational opportunities for people who are underrepresented in various areas of our society. It also focuses on demographics with historically low representation in leadership and professional roles. So it was a big surprise to everybody last week when the Supreme Court decided to end affirmative action in college admissions. Clarence Thomas, which not really surprised, but this is the second Black justice appointed to the court, actually believes that affirmative action imposes a stigma on minorities. He said that he believes that affirmative action, he said that he holds our enduring hope that this country will live up to its principles, that all men are created equal, all equal citizens are equal, and must be treated equally before the law. Now, this is coming from your boy Clarence Thomas, and a lot of people said didn't like
like his name. Like it needs to no longer be. We need to just call him Uncle Thomas.
Yeah, pretty much,
because that goes along with it. He and his white wife. But he's one of the ones that used the bridge of affirmative action to be allowed into his course of study, his college of choice. Now he wants to blow the bridge up for everyone else who wants to also use that bridge to also get there. Because this is the thing about affirmative action that we kind of get out of, because some people say like, oh yeah, like affirmative action, and he was saying, oh yeah, one day America will hold up to its truth of being a land of freedom and equality for everybody. But it ain't.
Right.
It ain't. We need to get out of the dreamland, and that's what affirmative action was. It was realizing that we aspire to be this type of country, but we ain't. It's a lot of stuff that we're doing that's not really conducive of being an equal society and that sort of thing. So affirmative action was that bridge to build to allow you even access into the room. And this is what I get with a lot of people, because they misconstrue affirmative action, because a lot of the things that you hear from those people who are against affirmative action, they hear like, oh yeah, we don't want unqualified people being able to get this job or to get this education or whatever. And that's not what affirmative action does. Affirmative action doesn't give you something just because you're Black or just because you're a woman or whatever. It just opens the door, because these doors have traditionally been closed.
Right.
Because it allows usually when you're in those different spaces, you're only going to allow people who look like you to also join you in those spaces, because those are people who you're familiar with, those are people who you convene with, those are people you're comfortable with. So the people who look like you are more likely to get those opportunities, Yeah. So that's why colleges have historically been always predominantly white men, not even white women, but historically white men. It's always been that way. So affirmative action busts that door open. So like to say that, no, we're not going to rely on history and tradition to get us in those doors. We're going to have something else that makes sure that we also look at these other factors that we haven't been used to looking at or whatever. And race is just one of them or whatever. So it opens that door. But then when we get through it, we see how qualified these people are. So no, I'm not getting the position just because I'm Black. Nah, maybe me being Black opens up that door through affirmative action. Yeah, but I still have to prove myself by being qualified and actually doing the job and that sort of thing. But now they're saying that no, that's no longer something you can use to be able to get that job or to get that college. And it's just messed up, because who has most of the degrees? Black women.
Right.
Black women have benefited from that, because Black women historically are the first ones in their family to go to college and that sort of thing. So they couldn't rely on legacy. They couldn't rely on my daddy or my mom and them or my cousin or somebody that they know. So they've taken advantage of that and been the most degreed population in America. And now that's changed. And I just hate that, because they are the ones that have primarily benefited from that. And now we're changing the script for them too, which also relates to the other thing about student loan forgiveness. Hey, we can't use the black faces and that sort of thing in getting them into college. But now when Joe Biden tries to ease the pain of student loan debt, the Supreme Court says no.
Yeah. It's really a jacked up situation all the way around. And because of the whole Supreme Court, decision last week, activists right now, they've been trying to get their lick back by using the ruling to tackle legacy admissions. Now, a Boston-based nonprofit called Lawyers for Civil Rights filed a lawsuit against Harvard University over the matter this past Monday on behalf of Black and Latino communities in the area. Now, the nonprofit points out that 70% of Harvard's legacy and donor-related applicants are white.
70%.
Yeah.
But when the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action, they said you can't use race. No. That makes it tough for people. But you can use legacy. You can use history, because they know that's where those donations are come from. So it's like one of those cases like follow the money. Follow the money. They said it's okay for the rich right money to still keep coming in, but it ain't okay for us to make a case for African Americans or women or minorities and that sort of thing. And it's just jacked up. If you're gonna strike it down one way, strike it down for everybody. Right. And that's why everybody mad.
Yeah. And so for context, just, legacy admission, it gives priority to families who alumni have historically been overwhelmingly white. We know that. Now, as a result, the group acknowledges that removing legacy preferences would increase admissions for applicants of color. So what you're saying is absolutely true, Seth. And people, it's just so interesting that, again, I can't believe that the Supreme Court is really trying to take us back.
Yeah. Our
Supreme Court, they're really trying to take us back. Back into the 20s or the 30s. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's before then. And you just look at it, like you look at not just this, you look at that, making it tougher for Black people, women to get college admissions. You look at the abortion, that making it difficult for women to get abortions in the state where they live in, making it so much difficult for all these things to happen. You already see what they're trying to do, and which is why we even started this podcast in the first place, because we would just sleep. We would sleep at the wheel while they was doing what they was doing, and we always said that what happens now may not have happened immediately or whatever, but it's over time. This is not just something that they thought about or whatever. This is based on them having the power to do it, based on 2016. It ain't even about the last election where Biden beat Trump. It ain't even about this. This goes back to the Hillary Trump election, where we allowed Trump to get into this position to be able to put in Supreme Court justices like this, who are not basing their decisions on justice or law or whatever. They become very, very politically motivated. So whatever they want to do from a political scene that they can't pass laws about, now they're trying to do it from a judicial side or whatever. That's why we're saying this stuff matters. Like don't just let this stuff slide by you, because this can mess up your life in the future. Right now, what we don't do right now can mess up our 20 years from now,
Right. Especially, I think, with the $400 million student loan forgiveness plan that has now been shut down by the Supreme Court. They're declaring that the administration does not have the power. The Biden administration doesn't have the power to cancel student loan debts. And it's kind of it's a crazy situation, because I get it. There's people of all races, creed, color that have student loan. But it really affects the African American community. So it's just surprising that, surprising but not surprising that they're taking this route. And it seems to be happening all so fast. Everything is just coming, like just a first affirmative action, then the student loan debt. It's like, man, come on.
Well,
what are they doing?
Pump your brakes, because next up, now that they've successfully been able to remove affirmative action, next up is minority scholarships.